So all new Gibsons are shit? Well, why don't you just buy an old one? That's exactly what I thought. And you see, I don't have much time to make these videos anymore, which is why I'm taking you on a walk with me while I'm walking my dogs. You can read all about it online, that Gibson nowadays is making poor quality and guitars are shit and all that kind of stuff. If you haven't heard about it, type it into Google, you will find a lot about it. I thought to myself, at some point in time they must have done something right, since, well, they are one of the biggest guitar brands ever, aren't they? So I went online and Googled which years are good for Gibson Les Paul standards. And boy did I fall through the rabbit hole. You can find 10,000s of keyboard warriors writing about which years are good, which years are bad, poor quality, good quality. Then there are a lot of people who say, well, basically Gibson was only good before they got bought, so everything after, like, I don't know, 60 or something is crap. Well, I cannot afford a 59, 58 or a 60 Les Paul. Well, so that was out of the question. After some long research, here's what I came up with. Early 90s are good, early 2000s are good, early 80s are good. If that's true, I have no fucking idea. I am not a Gibson guru. And as I said, if you ask 10 people, you get 15 opinions on which years were good ones and which were bad ones. As far as I figured it out, Gibson has always made good and bad guitars. That's what I came up with. But the numbers they put out, that's quite a possibility, isn't it? So here's what I did. I did something really stupid. I said, I was born in 1981. Why not go and buy a 1981 Les Paul standard? And since Reverb is now new in Germany and you can buy stuff of Reverb and you don't have to go to eBay, that's what I did. I went on Reverb and looked for 1981 Les Pauls. It took quite a while till one came up, and well, I made an offer. The guy took it and it got shipped to me from the Netherlands. A black beauty, very used 1981 Gibson Les Paul standard. If it's any good, well, I'm talking about this beautiful guitar right here. So as I said, my only criteria for buying this guitar was that it was made in 1981. Ain't that stupid? What is it? It is a Black Beauty Les Paul standard. And there are two things that are special about this guitar, which I will come to in a minute. But everything else is as you are used from a Les Paul. It's got a mahogany body and it's got a rosewood fingerboard, mahogany neck. It's got a maple top, I think. Does it? What do I know about guitars? And I saw it on Reverb, 1981, and I didn't buy it right away. Why didn't I buy it right away? Because the one thing that is special about it is that on the headstock it says second, and it's not stamped on, it's actually like burned in. So what does that mean? Again, went to Google, typed in what does second mean on a Les Paul guitar, and I came up with like a million different answers. So number one was, they were the shitty guitars, they stamped them second so nobody would sell them, and there could be major flaws on it, like the neck wouldn't be straight and the neck might have been broken, blah blah blah. Others said that second guitars were for employees, higher up employees, and they were stamped second so so they wouldn't sell them. And some said second were guitars with minor flaws, only like optical flaws, so maybe in the lacquer or some scratches and dings and dongs that were not up to the quality standard. Now some of you might laugh because nowadays a lot of people said seconds back then were better quality control than standards are today. Again, not sure if it's true, but I was quite unsure if I wanted a guitar that said second on the back. Here's why I did buy it, my reasoning behind all this. As you can see, this guitar is heavily relicked. Well, it's not relicked, it's heavily used. This is all original. You can see on the neck where it has been played a lot. So my thinking was, when this thing came out of the factory, it must have been good, because whoever owned it before me, he played it a lot. This was not a bedroom guitar, this was not a studio guitar. Somebody sweat quite a bit over that neck. This thing has been played loads and loads of hours. Now you don't play a guitar that's shit for thousands and thousands of hours, do you? That was my thinking. So you still could say, all right, it was great once, but now it's shit, that's why it gets sold. Well, that's the gamble I took. Two things were important for me. The neck should not have been broken, and it had to be straight, and the truss rod should work. Both things, and all three things are as I wished, and I bought it. It got shipped here from the Netherlands, and well, it's a beauty, isn't it? The other thing that's special about it, besides the second on the headstock, is the humbuckers are Tim Shaw humbuckers. Now, ain't that great? Never heard of them before, had no idea who Tim Shaw was, so I googled the sucker. And Tim Shaw was, I don't know, production manager, something like that, in the early 80s, working at Gibson. And he, for some reason, thought that the way Gibson made humbuckers in this time period was crap. And he went back all the way to the 59 PAF humbuckers. And so supposedly, the Tim Shaw humbuckers, are very, very close to the original PAFs. Again, no idea if this is true or just an urban myth. They sound great. That's all I care. This guitar is very, very heavy. Before you ask, I haven't weighed it, but it's heavier than any other Les Paul I own. So some people would tell you that that is good because it has more sustain. Some people would tell you that it's very bad because it sustains more when it's lighter. And again, ask Olivia. And even they are arguing about that. So I guess here's how it sounds. I am playing it into my Marshall DSL5, got it pretty much cranked. This is going into my Steinberg something interface, and I got the Electroharmonic Soul Food in front of it and the carbon copy delay. Another clue that it might have been played quite a bit is that it has been refretted. You can tell this because the binding is no longer over the frets, and these are jumbo frets. Alright, I have no problem with that. A guitar that's that old, it should be refretted. It was played, it was a workhorse. Somebody liked this guitar, somebody took this guitar to a lot of gigs, so good for the guitar. And the seller said that it has flower tuners. No idea what those are. If that's something special or not, no idea. It's just what it said. It's aged quite nicely. All this has become yellow as it's supposed to do. The words have gone from the pickup selector switch ring. It has a lot of dings and dongs and bruises. Everything works perfectly. It stays in tune. Well, besides the G string, and it's intonated. It plays fantastically and it sounds great. So I might have overpaid quite a bit, or I might have made a good deal. I have no idea, but that's the thing with used guitars, because there are not many seconds on the market. It was cheaper than the normal ones. No idea. I do not intend to sell it unless I really, really need the money, but I sell a couple of other guitars before that. So let's give you some more tones. Let me switch to a tube screamer in front of it with some delay and reverb. my first experience on Reverb buying a used guitar, and it was a good one. So let me know what you think about this guitar. Let me know if you have any experience with second guitars. Let me know if you have bought an old guitar, and please share your opinion on which gears are good for Les Paul standards, because I'm pretty sure you have an opinion on that. Everybody seems to. Till next time, please subscribe if you like my stuff that I put out, and give a thumbs up for this video if you want to, or not if you don't. See you guys next time. I'm out.